So I'll read the prologue. It's only a couple pages. Paraworld 0, Prologue, The Storm. The woman was dying, and no one on earth would mourn for her when she was gone. Not a soul would know of the secret she possessed, or of the ultimate power that emanated from within her limp body. The hope of the universe was about to be lost. That is, unless she arrived at the hospital in time. A torrent of watery darts hit the windshield as the ambulance squealed around another corner. The hospital was not much farther. A spark of lightning erupted in the night sky, as if to point the way the ambulance should go.
They moved the pregnant woman directly to a birthing room. The window streamed with rushing water, and the howling wind fought against the thick glass. Ferocious thunder hammered the building, making the surgical instruments vibrate.
Within moments, a baby's cry filled the room. The doctor picked up a plastic syringe and suctioned the amniotic fluid out of the newborn's small mouth. A nurse handed him a pair of surgical scissors. "Congratulations, you have a boy." He snipped the umbilical cord. Suddenly, an explosion of bright blue light sprang from the baby and shattered the glass in the doors and windows. The medical personnel dropped to the floor. A whirlwind of pastel light filled the once bland room, and a strange mist arose from somewhere below. The wisps of sparkling color danced upon the plumes of thick smoke and vapor, making it hard for anyone to focus his or her eyes. The doctor looked up, squinting to see through the chaos, and gasped as he witnessed the infant emerge from the translucent smoke. Simon was floating in the air. "Oh my!" cried a nurse from beneath the table. He drifted towards the bed, the smoke parting on both sides of his frail body as he moved, and came to rest in the arms of his mother. Smiling, she brought out a necklace she'd been wearing beneath her blouse. She looked at the doctor and whispered, "Give him this." Then she closed her eyes and died. The smoke and colorful lights soon dissipated, leaving the small room cold and lifeless as before. Everyone remained silent. Not even the wind outside dared to make a sound. The storm had finally ended.
Serious. And so, right into the next chapter, it's actually kind of funny because he's older now.
She's giving him a magic lesson here. This is his first magic lesson. Magic, she said, is produced by the EM waves, or the lack of EM waves in your case, Simon. But it must be harnessed by a person. As you summon the energy, it enters your body, and then is released when you cast your spell. Most people, as they start learning magic, use something or other to focus that energy. I like to use a wand, but you can use whatever you want. A staff, a ring, a bracelet, or anything. How about a rock? Asked Thorn. Yeah, you could use a rock. How about a hat? You could use a hat. What about a book? Look, you could use an impulse dog move if you wanted to. The point is that whatever you use, it'll help you channel that build-up energy so you can cast your spell. She glanced at Simon as he opened his mouth to take another bite. He has an apple in his mouth. Let me see that apple, Simon. He handed it over reluctantly, and she placed it on a flat rock nearby. Okay, Thorny, flip the wand at the apple and say, "Voluminous." When you do it, imagine in your mind that the apple is getting bigger. Can you do that? Or do I need to paint a picture for you? "Voluminous," Thorn said, ignoring her insult. He flipped the wand with every syllable. "Voluminous." But the apple didn't budge. "Voluminous, voluminous." He looked like he was conducting an orchestra. "All right," snapped Tanya. She grabbed the wand from his hand. "Yelling at it isn't going to make it grow." She flicked the wand nonchalantly at the red fruit and said calmly, "Voluminous, that's how you do it. Here, Simon, you try." Tanya handed the wand to Simon. It was black with a white tip, similar to what a magician would use at a party. He inspected the smooth, waxy surface and realized that some of the paint had chipped off. The image of the beautiful young woman from his dreams entered his mind. Who is she? He wondered. She didn't start coming into my dreams until I got to this planet. Is she giving me these powers? Or am I really special like Tanya says I am? Simon had never thought he could be special. Special was a word used for someone great, someone with fantastic skills or attributes. Surely not someone like himself, a sickly young boy, too small for his age, with big ears, unruly hair, and glasses. "We're waiting, Simon," Tanya interrupted his thoughts. "Oh, sorry." He held his wand tightly and flicked it at the apple. "Voluminous." The apple began to tremble. Then it shook so violently, it popped off the rock and rolled to the edge of a steep cliff. It started to grow and grow and grow. Soon it grew taller than Tanya. The red skin stretched like a balloon, feeling like being filled with air. Even the place where Simon had previously taken a bite expanded. When the apple stopped growing, it was easily 10 feet tall. Bewildered by the strange sight, Thorn exclaimed, "Wow, that was stupendous! I can't believe you did that!" "I can't believe you did either," Simon said, completely dumbfounded. He moved his hover chair to get a closer look. The giant fruit leaned partially over the cliff. Thorn yanked off a small chunk of the apple and popped it in his mouth. "Tastes great," he announced. "It's nice and firm, just like a normal apple." He smacked the juicy flesh of the oversized fruit as he talked. Just then, the crunching of rocks sounded in their ears. The apple teetered backwards. "Stop it before it goes over!" Simon yelled. He grabbed the torn skin at the edge of the huge bite mark and tried to stop the apple from falling off the cliff. "If this goes over, someone below might get killed." Tanya and Thorn grabbed the apple as well, which stabilized him for the moment. "We can't hold this forever!" Tanya cried. A faint grumbling sound resonated from within the apple. Thorn pressed his ear to the side of the fruit, and a troubled look appeared on his face. "Guys, do you hear that?" "Yeah, that's my heart racing," Tanya shouted, readjusting her grip. "No, there's something else." "I think I do hear something," Simon said as the grumbling became louder. Suddenly, the side of the apple exploded outwards, and the head of a giant worm emerged. The giant snake-like creature had 2 sharp horns on the top of its green head, as well as 2 beady little eyes. Its massive jaws opened wide, and it gave out a loud screech that shocked Thorn so badly he lost his grip and fell backwards. Seeing the helpless boy lying on the ground, the worm lunged towards him with its mouth gaped open. But just before it reached Thorn, the apple rolled over and fell off the cliff, taking the huge worm with it. Simon still held a flap of red skin in his hands. He watched helplessly as the apple descended the tall mountain. Thorn scurried to the edge of the cliff and looked down. "Well, Simon," he noted, "there goes your lunch."